Okay, should be recording. Cool. All right, so hello everyone. My name is Kedwin, and welcome back to our demo section for our technical talk, Getting Good at Git, hosted by Scalpel Linux Users Group. So what I have here is a link I shared earlier in my presentation, gitschool.github.io/visualizing Git. So this kind of helps us, is a good tool that I found or I've led to say, to teach or to show how Git kind of works. First, okay, presenter mode is still on. So the first thing, right, we have a initial commit already here for us. And you can see this number here, E137E9B, something, something, something is our commit hash, right, for initial commit. So let's say we did some more work, git commit, we write a new mess, or we write a summary. Maybe like here first, another commit. Whoops. I guess it allowed me to commit anyway. So here we have a new commit with BBD5939. New commit. So we have another one with the summary new commit, right? 890DFFD. Okay, now let's say I want to check out another branch. Git check out another branch, but that branch doesn't exist. So let's create it. So we just git checkout -b another. So we create this new branch called another. So currently we have the pointer for the main branch to new commit, and you also have the pointer for another branch at new commit. And head, which is where our current state is at also here. So, but we're on the another branch right now. So let's do some work. Let's say git commit -m. If I can type more work, git commit. I'm just going to type commit just to say we're doing some work and we don't have to write messages. So you can see that our another branch we're on, our current working state is here, but it was previously here and previously here, right? So in our Git history, what do we see? Git log. We can see that we are here on F648. Our previous one was D9CE. The previous one on that was 1882, so on and so forth. But if we check out the main branch, if you do git checkout main, we can see that we're now back here, right? Our working state shifted to go back to this main branch state. So if we do a git log, what do we expect to see? Will we see these commits here? No, because we can see that our working state is here. We don't have any forward point arrows to the next commit. So we only have backwards arrows, right? So we only see this current commit, new commit, this previous one, and this even other previous one here, right? So this is kind of what happens. So let's say another branch is called checkout -b development, right? Dev. So now we have a new branch for development purposes. Let's see. Okay, so people did some work. Now, so yeah, now our current working state, right, is now pointing for the development branch, and we have these branches, these commits, that are, so we can see that these two branches, devel and another, diverged from this commit 890. So now if we do git log here, what do we expect to see? We expect to see, we won't see these commits, right, because they're not on our branch, but we'll definitely see these commits because they're on the develop branch. And we'll also see these, right, because that's also part of a history. When I say these, I mean these, right? Whoops. Let's try this. Okay. Yeah. So we see git log, right? So you see those branches, those things, the bubbles in blue shows up. So now let's get back to our main branch. And let's say we want to, the development branch work is good. We can merge the changes back into our main branch, right? So we can git merge. Now, remember I said we have two strategies, which is fast forward and no fast forward. Let's see what happens when we just merge without specifying strategy. Okay, see, our pointer just moved over to the main, to our main branch moved the pointer to the development branch, and it tells us we performed a fast forward merge. So this just meant that we just moved the pointer. We didn't create any new commits to specify that we made a merge. So what I can do is in this simulator is type undo. Remember that Git does not have an undo command. If you do this, this won't. You'll probably spit out. Your terminal will probably spit out a thing. I don't know what you're doing. Right? Command not found. So what if you specify git merge no fast forward development? Okay, that is kind of ugly, but it gets the point across, right? We've had a merge commit so that now our previous commit is really the development commit, right? Because, well, let's do a git log so I can show you the history better. So yeah, see, we see that the merge commit, while it's our, we're, it was really, our last commit really that we made on the main branch is here. We merged the commits in, so the pointer doesn't just cover these 4 commits, it covers these 7 commits, these other 4 commits on the development branch as well, right? Okay, so let me undo that so we can, it's a bit easier to see. Undid the git log, okay. So, right, now we have the main commit, right, and let's say the another branch. So earlier in my talk, when I was going on about git rebase, I said that, okay, if we're on another branch here, but let's say there was a patch for something I needed, for some file or some code I needed, and I want to get that into this branch, but I don't want to, redo all of this work on another branch based on here, right? Because I could easily do, if I'm on the another branch, I can easily do git checkout devel, and then git checkout -b more or with updates, let's say, and do some git, right, and do work on here. But I don't want to do that, right? Okay, so can I undo that? Okay, yeah. So I'm back on the another branch. I will do git. I can do git rebase devel. So I will Okay, so there's the animation that played. So basically, it took this right. So these purple ones are these 3, right, are what changed. So it took more work in this commit and this commit and played it back on top of here, right? So remember, if you let's actually see that again. Git rebase. So it says original head is here. I move my head to here and I replay these 2 commits on top of development. So every change I made in more work and this as 3ABB are really the same commits I made here, 18A and D9C, right? So, and F6 is 19, right? So, oops. So now we can see that I have all my work I made in another, but now it's based on rebased, right? I changed my base commit from this new commit here to this development commit here, right? So that's how git rebase works. Let me just pull up my slides to make sure I'm covering everything I specified. Okay, so we covered that. Git status, git show, I don't think will show anything. Yeah, it doesn't understand it because we can, in our simulator, right, we only have help. We only have these commands here. Okay, so, okay, I guess here's another, I guess I can, because now I'm in the talk section, or not the talk, the demo section, I could just show some stuff that I didn't even go over. Cool. So git reset and git revert. Okay, so I'm on this branch head or another, but let's say I don't want the stuff I made in more work, right? Let's say I made some mistakes. I don't want that anymore. I can do git revert to revert the changes. So A5F40, that's not some magic number. That's, well, kind of, right? It's the commit hash for this. How many digits do I need to type here? Well, that's only as much as I need to make this unique. So I don't see any repeats, which is a good thing, right? Because a hash or fingerprint is supposed to be unique. So I can type, even if it's just type A5, I think if it was just A, that might work, but I think I'll just type A5 to be safe. So I can do git for A5. So it found the commit with like A5F40CD and it reverted that. So it created another commit, but now the changes I made here don't show up anymore. So yeah, but if you see the git log, you will see that, yeah, we still have all of those commits, right? So that commit doesn't magically go away. Now I can remember we can do a git reset. So maybe I want to go back to, maybe I don't want these two commits. Let's just do a git reset to that one. So git reset 3, 2. Now, right, we see that another branch is the tag for it anyway, is now here, right? So these commits don't exist as far as this branch is concerned. We don't know these exist, right? Because there's no forward arrow. So we see the simulator showed us thing, git assuming -- hard. So a hard reset basically discards any changes that were made since that point. Let's say I add a new file between this state and this state, right? So I created like a file A here, right, in this commit. File A will be removed from my current working directory if I said -- hard. I said -- soft, it'll keep the file A here, so I will still, that I created here. So even though I revert it back, I will still have all the changes I made in here, but it will just have the base reset to here. If that makes sense. Okay, so that's that git push pull. I don't think we can do that. Oh, git push. Not sure how this worked in the simulator, but let's say we can just do git push. There's no remote server named origin. Okay, so let's see if I can do. Okay, so I guess what I didn't realize is that there's a remote thing, so I can actually show you the remote commands as well. Mode remote. Okay, I guess that's taking a while to prepare, I think, maybe, hopefully. No. Maybe I have to reset it. Okay, I guess what I can do though is say, let's go back to our main branch, and I'll make another branch. Right, so I have some commits, but let's say there was remember like this patch, right? I created this theoretical patch for something. I created in here. Let's say in this commit. Let's say it wants to pick out only this file, a certain file in this commit, but I don't want to rebase or something, on devel because maybe there's some other stuff I don't care about here, or maybe I just want that specific file, or maybe this is like a backport. I'm not too sure. But we can do this command called git cherry pick, which is, if I could spell correctly, and then specify that commit hash. Okay, so what happened here is that because we had 3 commits, right? I picked this commit and I applied its changes to my state in here. So now that there was whatever changes were made in here are also now made in this commit here, right? So let's say I want to cherry pick this commit as well. I don't know why, but let's say I do. This commit. Right, you can see that this more work got pulled into here, right? Or cherry picked, rather, not pulled, into this branch right here. Cool. Any questions so far? Okay, let's see if I can do a free explorer with remote. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we have a remote, let's say, or called origin. Whoa. Okay, we have a remote called origin that has our is our, like, let's say, GitHub server. We have a commit that's already created. Geez, I can't select it. Okay, we have a commit called first commit. I am on my local workstation because I don't develop on the remote, right? So we can see that this origin main branch is we can see that this main branch is tracking origin and the main branch name, right? So what I can do is say git remote, I think. No, okay. Git remote. Can I? Okay. Wait. Okay, whatever. I guess you will have to take my word that there is a Git server here. Okay, that should work. Cool. Full screen mode. Okay, so I'm on this main branch here. Let's call this dev, local dev. Right, so let's do some git and commit. So now some commits. Now, right, some work I did the git add, right, which I don't say git not supported, right, by the simulator because there's nothing to add. Okay, so git push. Normally you would do git push dash dash set dash upstream, and you would say like which origin. If I actually pull up the terminal, I think I can show you what I mean by git push set upstream. If I can go to a terminal, make this text bigger. Help or git help push. So like I said earlier, git help is a built-in tool to Git, and you can just use this to say where what commands you want help with. So I did help with push, and you can see that. Okay, well you can say set upstream, so I can set where I want to push to, right, or which server this is tracking. So in this case, it's tracking the origin server and the local dev branch. I know it's a bit hard to see, right? So let's say I had another server, right? Let's say I had this is my internal server for my own team, but let's say for a customer, right, I can push to their, or or like, let's say internal server in the public GitHub server, right? I can say git push to set upstream, or I can say this branch will track internal, right, internal dev, and that'll push to set upstream. Probably, I think I want to say it's like origin slash, and then like origin, which is the origin server, as in the internal server. I can say, branch. I think this is syntax. Don't quote me on this. I think you should probably look it up before you do this. So I can set that to my internal, but let's say I have another server called like production or GitHub, right? So I can say external GitHub, and I can say, other branch. So I can say like which branch do I want to push where, so I can specify that. So cool. Let's see if I can do a, yeah, so all the same things apply here, right? So if I get, so a main branch on my local, I can do git merge dash dash no fast forward, so I can create a commit. Oops, haha, specify a branch name first. Usually that would be local dev. So you can see now we have the main branch. Remember, the server's main branch is still back here because we haven't pushed our changes. But our local system, we have merged the local main branch and the local dev branch. Now if we git push, can't spell. Okay, so it seems like, I don't know why this is doing it this way, but maybe Yeah, I don't think that's going to help. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, the server also now has our changes. Okay, can I? Okay, yeah. So this tool also shows has a bunch of other tools or scenarios you can go to. So let's go to these upstream changes. So here, right, we have our local workstation, right? So we have first commit. There's a commit, right? So our main branch is up to date, but our remote branch is not. So what we could do is say git pull. I think this should updates. So git pull will, right, like I said earlier, pull the remote changes back down to our local workstation. So now you can see that our feature branch is now the same state as their other feature branch. Okay. Rewritten remote history. This is kind of an advanced topic that I really don't like thinking about. So this is a result of someone force pushing. Let's see how we would do this. Maybe it's a git reset to 1C01, and then git pull or fetch maybe. Git pull. Cool. So now we are back in sync with the remote server. So basically what I did here was well, let's reset this. It doesn't understand. Okay, let's see if I can reset it. Let's see if I can reset it. Cool. Okay. So yeah, so what I did here was they rewrote the history. So I first reset my local pointers to point back to here, right? So git reset 1C01. So the feature, our local copy still thinks the remote is up to date at 5041. But if we git fetch, we fetch the actual remote and say like, oh, it's actually here. So now we updated our local branch to say, okay, we need the commit to be moved back. And then we git pull to update our branch to the remote state, right? Just pull the remote changes. Because for here, we don't, our local pointer, feature branch pointer head, I should say, doesn't see these commits. So we want to pull those changes. And we don't actually need to retrieve anything. We just need to update our pointers because this commit happens to already exist locally. Cool. Yeah, cherry pick. I think I covered that previously. So I think that covers all of the things I had planned for you in the simulator. So that's this. Any questions so far? Okay, cool. I think that's all I had for this one. Okay, cool. So earlier today, I installed this tool called Git Ahead, which I briefly touched on in the talk. So this is a good, I personally prefer this graphical user interface because it is free open source. It has a decent, it's pretty active, so it's being developed on, and cross-platform so that if I'm explaining it to you on Linux workstations, even if you're running a Windows or Mac OS 10 workstation, or Mac OS, sorry, workstation, you should be able to see the same interface. Cool. So the installation for Linux was pretty simple. Basically, you go to the, where was it, releases. So click here, download the shell script file, and then all I did was shell script, no root needed, downloads, and that git ahead script. It says, okay, I need to extract it to this directory, right? I actually don't want to do this because I already extracted it. Basically, it installs it in your local user's home folder, so you don't need root access to install it at all, which is really nice, especially on a shared system. So I already went ahead and downloaded some repositories for us here to take a look at. So this happens to be Nginx, which is a popular web server. So the interface for Git Ahead is, I would say, pretty intuitive. So you can see, we can select which branch to check out in case, so in this case, there's only the main branch. You can see which, you can filter by, I only want to see commits that made changes to this file, right? Let's say this readme file. And you can see on the right here, the Git summary of each commit. you can see the git hash, right, or a fragment of it, and you can see the previous hash, right, the parent hash, because it only has a pointer to the other one, right? And you can see here the patch or the diff, right, which is the green is what you've added, the red is what was removed. So I think if I say, can I see that as a patch? No, I can't. Okay, that's a shame. But what I could do, maybe I'll show you later. But yeah, basically you can say it's like, okay, we've added, a few things here, but here there's more additions than removals, or something like that, right? This isn't too terribly interesting because it's just one long string of commits on the main branch. Here's excuse me, the Git history for NeoVim, which is a popular text editor. Look, that functions very much like Vim. So Git ahead will show you different branches with different colors. So this latest commit on this red line was here, and you can see that it was merged in here. So we can see that this was not a fast forward merge because we can see that there's a merge commit created. So we know that's not a fast forward merge. And we can see that here, right, we have a bunch of things that were removed and a bunch of things that are changed. In some cases, right, Git will, this client in particular highlights exactly what was changed in different color, right? So that's a slightly darker green. I don't know if it gets across in the recording, but you can see that Git tracks it as per line, but you can see that only this text has changed, right, for these two. So if you highlight it, it thinks it's a bit more obvious. So there's some other features like that would might be able to help with that. So what else? Yeah, because you can see, like, you can even show with multiple branches, it can get kind of chaotic. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so git reset and git revert. So I showed you those in the simulator, but what I didn't show you is the git rebase, or the interactive rebase rather, kind of the, what I say, quote unquote, was advanced. So let's take a look. These are all on my local workstation. I don't have permission to push to these repositories. So even if I did try to push, I'm not actually going to delete any history from these repositories. So don't worry. This is for demonstration purposes only. Obviously, if you're trying to do this on a repository that you actually care about, let's say for work, please make absolutely sure you know what you're doing, or use a test repository. So I have a repository here, or some repositories here called in Git. Let us do, I'll just go to Nginx because it's just one long stream of commits. We can probably see that a bit easier. So to refresh our memory, Nginx, we just double click on here for our most recent repositories. So we can see that there's this commit, a bunch of commits here. Let's say I want to do some, like, edit the history between the latest branch here and this commit here, right? So I'm going to copy this commit hash, copy. What I could also do is git log. This is kind of long, so I don't want to see that. I think it's git log dash dash sparse, I think is, no, not sparse. Yes, please. Oh, geez, that is a lot of options. I think one line might be what I'm looking for. Okay, so we can see a bunch of commit hashes and their IDs, right? So you can see here that the Git client is really just using, either it's using some the Git structure to find the exact same information, just presenting in a different way. So we can see that I selected this hash here, 852EF8, right? Or F23, whatever. It's right here. I can say copy this. And so let's do a git rebase -I for interactive. And I want to pick this one to start working off of. So it shows us all of the commits between the latest, which is here, and here, but it doesn't show the one we picked because we need something to, like, if we squash, let's say, all of these commits, we need something to squash against, quote unquote, right? Like a wall to squash them against. So it won't show this commit, but it will show this commit here, right? E1E92 here, 9381, and it executes the commands from top down. So pick, right? I mean, it gives you a good summary of what it does. So let's make this full screen. You can do pick, reword, edit, squash, fix up, exact, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so basically, this allows you to, so pick just says use the commit as is, don't do anything to it. Reword allows you to edit the commit, right? Edit commit message only. At E, we can just even just amend the entire commit, like just change what was added in stage or whatever. Squash, we can, make a commit, push a commit into the previous one. Exec or fix up, we can just do the same thing with squash, but don't include the commit message. And you can do drop and reset and merge and all that good stuff. So what I'll show you is, so let's say I don't want, okay, well, let's say I'll squash S for squash, or I can say squash, you can spell. I want to squash this commit into this commit. So eventually we should see a commit that says, mail proxy SMTP auth directive and this commit message as well, right? What we'll also do is let's just do that for now. Fix up will have whatever happened in CPP test. Well, okay, I'll do fix up later because that's kind of similar to squash. I will also just say drop this commit, so we won't see this core nginx and ngxconf set eval whatever, and we will. So I can see, so I know that between these two commits, I'll just say like let's reword it. I'll just make this like some funny message so we can know exactly where we left off. And just for good measure, I'll make this one another message as well, right? Let's see. Cool. And then if you can even rearrange commits. So here, right, between these two rewords, we will see this one SSL configuration, SSL conf right here. I'm probably going to break something here, like as in the commit will have some conflict, but let's just say pick, and I'll paste it up here. So now we have two commits, right, between these two rewords, right, before it was there, but now it's going to be here. So now we should only see something like that. Okay, so after this, it's an editor. This is Vim, so I'll say quit, so save and quit. So this is combination of one or two commits. So we can see, right, when I said squash, it puts the two commits together. So here's our first commit, the message, right? And here's the second commit message. And so you want to do some stuff here, right? Let's say it'll tell us some stuff here, blah, blah, blah. I'll just don't do anything so we can just see that. This is a reword, right? So it showed, right, get interactive rebase will say, okay, we squash those two. Now I'm going to reword this. So I'm going to say cplug was here, 1, 2, 3, right? I'll save that, save and quit. Now, I think here's our second reword, right? So we did a pick, now it's a reword. Plug was also here. Whatever, right? I'll just say that. And then that's it. So that's our interactive rebase. That's it, right? Cool. Let's do the git log. Git log 1 line, so you can see it. So I don't even actually remember. Let's see, actually. So remember we picked out this hash, right? Well, we don't see that any. Well, okay. So actually, we see it here. This is where we based our commits off of, right? So there were two commits here. We squashed it here. So now we should, if we go back to the Git GUI, we can see that. Now you can see that here we have the cplug was here because we reworded that. Now we also have remember that commit we actually was there. And now here's the one we reordered. So we moved a commit in its history and then the second reword, right? And then now we also see here that we have the actual commit that used to be there. So let's see. Um, okay, cool. So now let's make this a bit bigger so we can, well, actually won't help. So, right, so this is the commit that we based everything off of. So here's where it diverged. Because remember when you make a change, so forget, right, whenever you make a change to a commit, the commit hash changes completely. So you can see that the client knows that, okay, so here's the remote server has these few commits, right? One E920A, 9381, 2B86, whatever, so on and so forth, up to here, right? So this is the main branch on the origin, whatever. Here's our main branch, right? So we can see that, right? So here we have this empty mail proxy, whatever, at limit rec, right? But we don't have the limit rec here, so we have the CP. So we can see in here, right, the mail proxy, and then we have the limit rec right after that. So if we go back to here, right, we see that only if I just minimize these changes, we have two files that changed, and in here there's another file. So this is ngx http limit rec, and this is ngx mail and ngx mail proxy. But in here, right, we have, if I close these, here you have ngx mail proxy, ngx mail, and ngx http. So now you can see that those two are squashed together. Here we just made a funny message, right? Or maybe not funny. In here, right, we said the stream proxy SSL conf, right, was here. Where is it? Right here. And we moved this to before the upstream proxy SSL, right? So we moved this one to right here in the, well, maybe we moved it here, right? But in the Git history. So there's that. Yeah, so basically this is a powerful tool, and we can see that we were able to rewrite history, but it will change your times, right? Your editing times and also the hashes. So you can't hide that you changed it, right? Even if you don't also update the remote server. And like I said earlier, right? If you update the remote server, people will know, because if they have versions of your repository already downloaded, they will be able to see like, okay, this doesn't match what I have. Something changed, someone force pushed. So there's that. What else do I have to cover? Git bisect. Okay, so let's go back. I think I will just, I can say reset hard. So I can reset my main branch to here. So I think I should be able to, yeah. So all of the changes I did just poof, went away, right? So if I said soft reset, I think I would still have all of the changes. So let's just try to see this. Reset soft. Yes, please. Now you can see that I still have these changes here, right? These modified changes, and you can say like, oh, update these files here. But if I did a reset hard, that wouldn't have happened. I think I want to just reset hard again, so I can just get rid of all the things. Okay, cool. So now we're back to the original state I had it when it was downloaded. Okay, let's do a git bisect, and let's still use that same version bump here. So let's go back. I think we might be able to do it from the GUI, actually. Let's see if I can do a git bisect. It doesn't look like that. Okay, but let's go back to the command line. Okay, cool. So we can do git bisect and then put the commit hash. Oops, sorry. Haha. Remember, git bisect. First, this is bad. We know this is bad. Yes, start it. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so first say git bisect start and specify this is a git bad working one. But we can do git bisect good. I think we can just paste the hash. Cool. So we can do 3 versions test. So we can say like, okay, now it's picked out this hash for us, AF 05. So we were here at 9C something. I said we're going to, between here and here, we know this was a good state, but somewhere in here we messed up. So it picked out this middle commit for us here. So let's say let's say, pretend I did my, tests and say, okay, this is a good state. So git bisect. Cool. Okay, so now it's picked out this commit for us to fix. So git 9A72. 9A72 is right here, right? Because we specified that this was good. So between here and here, there were no bugs, right? So now it's picked us between here and here. It's picked out this middle commit here. get 7a2 or get a7-2, sorry. Let's say this is bad. Get bisect bad. So this is already bad. So now it's saying, okay, now there's nothing. This is now the commit that the bug should be introduced in. Now, remember, this is all hypothetical. I don't actually know if there's bugs here, but right. So AC9 1, AC9, yeah. So we were, remember, so we were here, between here and here, it picked out, get picked us this commit to look at. So we were here and we said, this is good. So the bug happened sometime between here and here. It then picked out this commit. We said, this is bad. So we were here, it picked out this one. So our bug has to occur somewhere between here and here because this is good, this is bad. So if it's not bad here, then it must be bad here. So between, if AC9 is good, then our bug occurred in 9A7. But if AC9 is also bad, then we know that our bug occurred in AC9. So I think, what if we say get bisect good? Okay, so it tells us that, right? So 9A7 is the first bad commit. Cool. So now we can see that, okay, here's the files we changed. And now our bug is going to be somewhere here. Now this drastically reduces our search time because instead of going through all of our files from the beginning, from get bisect resect. So let's say we're done, right? Okay, so yeah, so it could be anywhere in here. We don't know if we're just doing like a blind hunt. But using get bisect, we were able to find that, oh, okay, now we know exactly which commit we found a bug in, let's say, for hypothetical purposes. Okay, cool. Get bisect is covered. Yeah, so I guess that's what I think I covered most of what we went over in the slides. Any questions? Cool. If there are no questions, well, I think that'll do it for today. Yeah, join our Slack. If you do have any questions in your daily use, we will be happy to answer them and help you debug. Yeah, thanks for watching. Cool. Let's stop the recording.